Hey guys, this is Mr. H. Hey, I wanted to go over the problem from the DeltaMath assignment that I assigned. Um, and I'm just going to go through and do a bunch of problems from the DeltaMath assignments. So hopefully there's something in here that you go like, oh, I get it now. I'm just going to do problems. I'm going to show you how I did them. Most of them is just going to be the calculator, but not all of them. So this assignment is evaluating expressions and functions, and basically that's what it is. So let me click on the very first one. And what you see here is, you see it says, what is the value of the expression below when y is equal to 9? So basically all they're saying is take the value of 9, and wherever you see a y, plug it in for y. Now, that's pretty easy to do, but unfortunately, a lot of times when students do it without using the calculator, they make a bunch of mistakes. So that's why I like for you, this is what I like for you to do instead. Just store it into the variable that you're plugging in. So I'm putting 9 into y. So I'm doing 9 and then control variable. And that gives me the arrow, and I sub it into y. And now all I have to do is just key in the expression. So this is going to be plus 3y minus 4, and then press enter. And it tells me that the value is going to be 104. So I'm just going to put in 104 and then submit it. And it says that's right. Pretty simple. So this one, there's two variables. There's y and there's z, and they're saying that the y value is 4, the z value is 7. So all you're going to do is you're just going to store those numbers into those two variables. So it's going to be 4, control store, and I'm putting that into y. Press enter, and then I'm going to take 7 and I'm going to store that into z. And then I press enter, and it's done. And then I just key in this expression. So I'm going to put 6y plus z, and then press enter. And it tells me that the value is 31. So I go here and I put 31, submit it, and it says absolutely. Now, so basically that's what you're doing on those. Pretty straightforward. You're just taking the variable, they're giving you a value for the variable, so store that value into the variable, and then key the expression into the calculator, it'll evaluate it for you. So now, this one is called evaluating functions, and you can see the function notation. I'm going to take a picture so I can mark this up a little bit. But you can see right here, this is the function notation. Whenever you see that kind of notation, you should be thinking, oh, we got a function. And then they're telling you what the x value is. So basically, this is very similar to just evaluating an expression. The only thing we're going to do is we're just going to say x equals 6. So just like we did before, you're going to store 6 into x. So let's do that. 6, control store into x, press enter, and then you just key in the expression. So it's going to be a negative 2x minus 3, and then you press enter, and it says it's going to be a negative 15. So if I go over here and I put in a negative 15 and submit it, it says you're absolutely right. Okay, so let's do another one. So my next problem is this, and we got the standard function. Let me take a picture. You can see that the x value is a negative 2. So we're just going to store that into x. So over here, I'm going to do a negative 2, control store into x, press enter. And then I just key in the expression. So it's going to be a negative x minus 3, press enter, and it tells me that the output is going to be, let me delete this part, and then we're just going to put in a negative 1, submit it, and it says that's right. Let's do another one. Okay, this one, we've got h of x equals 5x minus 4. So the x value is 4. So x is 4. And so we're going to store 4 into x. So let me clear this out a little bit. It's getting kind of, so we're going to store 4 into x. And then we're going to key in the expression 5x minus 4. Press enter. That's going to be 16. So if I go to DeltaMath and type in 16, it says very nice. Okay, so that's what you're doing for that. It's basically like evaluating expressions, except that they're giving you function notation and they're telling you what the value to put in for x is because it's inside the parentheses. So let's go to the next one. So this one is, let me see, I'm going to turn this way so we can see this a little better. All right, so this one, they've given us functions notation. Now, this one is interesting. You got to be careful. Now, I said before when we were covering this, let me take a picture of this real quick so I can mark it up. Okay, so it said that when you look at this, you can see in this case, they've given us the value. It's outside the parentheses. It's not inside the parentheses, it's outside the parentheses. So that means it's the output. Now, output is horizontal lines. Input are vertical lines. So we're going to go to where y equals 3. So if you go up, this is the y equals 3 line. And you can see that the only dot that we hit is the A. And we want to find, they want us to find the input. So that is going to be a -6. So that's what we're going to do. We're going to submit. And we're going to put it is a -6. So you just click that, submit it, and it says you're absolutely right. So now let's try another one. Let me mark this up here. Let me take a quick picture so we can mark it up a little bit. All right, so here we go. So this one is saying, now this one, they've given us the input. How do I know that? Because it's inside the parentheses. So if it's inside the parentheses, it's the input. If it's outside the parentheses, it's the output. All right, so now, because we know it's the input, it's going to be x equals 3. And so that means we're going to draw a vertical line at x equals 3. So you go to 3, you're going to draw a vertical line right here. And you can see that the value, the B is right. That's the one that we hit. And all we have to do is find what the output is. So that's going to be a -4. So we're going to come here. And that's going to be our answer, a -4. So we delete. And we go here and we hit a -4. And that's absolutely right. Let's do one more. Let's see what they got. All right. So now, my first question, I want you to try this. Did they give us the input or the output? That's the first thing. And then if it's the input, then it's going to be x equals something. If it's the output, it's going to be y equals something. So now, so let me take a picture, move this up a little bit, take a quick picture. Okay, so here we got x. It's inside the parentheses, so it's x equals a -2. So you go to a -2 and you're going to draw a vertical line because the vertical line represents the input. So this is x equals a -2. You can see the C value. So we want the output. So we're going over to the y-axis. That's going to be 3. And so boom, we just, let me go back to DeltaMath. It's going to be 3. We submit it. Boom, that's it. That's it. So, so let's go back. Now I'm going to do evaluate functions level 2. Now these are just, it's the same idea as before. It's just that the functions are a little bit more complicated. It's not bad. The calculators, we're still using the calculator, so it really doesn't matter. So this one is saying, let me take a quick picture. So this one is basically saying, what do we got here? We got it's the input, so it's saying x is equal to a -7. So we're going to store a -7 into x, and then we're going to key in that expression. So let's do that. So it's going to be a -7, store it into x, and then what we're going to do is we are going to enter the expression 3x squared plus 2, press enter, and we got the output is going to be 149. So if I go back to DeltaMath and I key in 149, submit it, it says you're absolutely correct. Let's do one more. All right, let me take a quick picture and let me mark it up a little bit. So again, it's inside the parentheses, so we know this is x equals a -8. So that's what I'm going to store. So I'm going to store a -8 into x. And then I'm just going to key in the expression. -x squared plus 8x plus 14. So -x squared plus 8x plus 14. Press enter. And it tells me that the output is a -114. So if I go back to DeltaMath and I enter that -114, submit it, it says you're absolutely right. Okay, so let's try one more. Now this is evaluating a function from a graph. It's similar to what we were doing before. So here we go. Now, let me take a picture. So if you look at this, all right, so if you look at this, you can see that they gave us the input. How do I know? Because it's inside the parentheses. So this is x equals a -2. So I'm going to draw a vertical line at x equals a -2. So I'm going to come here and I am going to draw my vertical line. And there it is. Now, what we want is we want to find out where it hits the graph. It hits the graph right here. So I go straight over to the y-axis. So the output is going to be 2. It's going to be 3. So the answer is 3. So if I delete this and then I go down here and I put in 3, it says you're absolutely right. Let's do another one. Let's see what we got. All right, this one, we got x. Let me take a picture because I want to write on it. So this is saying x is equal to a -8. So I'm going to draw a vertical line at a -8. And then I'm going to, wherever it intersects the graph, I'm going to go straight over to the y-axis. So that's going to be 5. So it says when the input is a -8 for this function, the output is going to be a -5. So if I go back to DeltaMath and I type in a -5, it says, way to go. All right, so let me do one more. All right, so again, we got the input. Okay, we got the input. Let me take a picture first. And then we got the input is x equals a -7. And the reason I know that is it's inside the parentheses. And so then I'm going to draw a vertical line at a -7. And then I'm going to see where it intersects the graph right there. So I'm going to go straight over to the y-axis. So the output is 3. So that's what I would put in there. So let's go back to DeltaMath and we're going to put in 3. Submit it. Done. All right, guys. So that's how you do the DeltaMath assignments. And now if this is not helpful, then you need to come see me. I have 3rd period free, I have 7th period free, I have 8th period free, or when we're in class, you got to call me over and say, Mister, I watched the video and I still don't get it. And then we can keep trying. But it's pretty simple. Most of them, you're just using the calculator, storing a value, and then keying in the expression. If they give you a graph, you have to determine whether it's the input or whether it's the output, and then proceed accordingly. All right, I hope this has been helpful. I'm going to sign off because it's getting kind of late. So let me stop the share. Hey, everybody, and then I am going